Hello. Well, here we are at week 2. I hope you've survived week 1 well and that you've been able to download the things that you need to download to participate in this course. Week 2 is an introduction to evaluation anthropology. This really brings, it's kind of a surface discussion of things that will happen later in the course. All of these things will be discussed in greater length down the road, but as the title of this module implies, I want to introduce you to these concepts so that you can begin working with them. There are several things that I hope you will have at the end of this course when you walk out of here. One of the things I would very much like you to have is an experience of evaluation that is grounded in doing an actual evaluation. This will build your confidence in the idea that you can be an evaluator, and it also will give you something to talk about in job interviews. As someone who has done more job interviews with anthropologists than I care to remember, I will tell you that one of the things that really impresses me is evidence that the person I'm interviewing has actually done some of the things that I want them to be doing on this job. We'll talk more about job hunting later in the course, but this is one thing to keep in mind as you go through this experience. How will you describe it to other people? I want to give you some lessons that I've learned in my 28 years of doing evaluations. The only reason anybody pays good money for experience is that they assume that you've already made many of the mistakes that can be made in your kind of work, and that you don't have very many more to make. Mistakes are an inevitable part of the job that we do. There's no way around them. However, it's always kind of good if you can get somebody else to make your mistakes for you. So in this course, I'm willing to share with you mine. That's another goal, to give you a sensitivity to, first of all, the fact that it's okay to make mistakes, and secondly, the fact that these are kinds of things that maybe you can avoid in your own experience. I hope to familiarize you with the tools of evaluation that can be used by anthropologists in work settings. This will be the merest introduction to evaluation. Evaluation is a huge field. And for the rest of your career, should you choose to be an evaluator, you'll have to read books and read journals and go to conferences and talk to other people about developments in evaluation and the issues that you encounter in your own work. One course will not make you an evaluator, but it will sensitize you enough to the ideas around evaluation, its methods and theories, so that you can get a start on building yourself as an evaluator if you choose to do that. If you choose not to do that, most of the things that we do in evaluation are tools, methods, and theories that are familiar to and useful to other social scientists. So even if you decide to go in some other direction, your time here won't be wasted, I promise. Finally, I would like to help you develop an understanding of what the job market is for evaluation anthropologists. In doing this, of course, I'm hoping you'll learn something about the job market generally. It's been my experience that this is often not well covered in graduate courses. The University of North Texas is probably better than most, but even here, you can afford to think about concrete steps for career building. Evaluation is an endeavor that is quite creative. Every problem that we encounter in evaluation is a new one and requires new solutions, new methods, new theories. For that reason, it's very difficult to use a cookbook approach to evaluation. I'm not telling you that this never happens, because you will discover as you move on in your careers that it does. But it doesn't make great evaluations. Good evaluations are tailored to individual problems. So this is one of the reasons why I'm asking you to do projects, because you need to engage with an evaluation problem to really understand how to use evaluation to achieve some objective. What is evaluation? When I first got my job as an evaluator, I didn't really know what evaluation was. And I had to creep into my boss's office, and I do mean creep, close the door, admit that fact, and ask him what I could do to familiarize myself enough with evaluation not to look stupid a week from now when I was scheduled to have my first encounter with a client. He gave me some stuff to read, and needless to say, it was a very busy week. But as my experience with evaluation piled up, I realized that the attitudes in evaluation and the orientation to problems I brought with me from anthropology. The thing I did not bring with me were the specific tools, the specific objectives, the specific jargon of evaluation studies. And evaluation has several characteristics that tend to be shared. First of all, evaluation is very applied research. You do an evaluation because some person, an agency, a manager, a principal, some client needs to know some information to make a decision about their own jobs, to institute a new program, to put a product on the market in the best possible way, to see how projects work in different kinds of communities, to understand organizations that are dysfunctional and what steps can be taken to fix those organizations. The specific problems are numerous. What unites all of this is the fact that you are doing evaluation because somebody needs to know something for some active purpose. Evaluation is therefore scientific. I know there's a lot of discussion in anthropology and in the social sciences generally about the relationship between science and the understanding of societies. I am not asking you to adopt some mindless positivist approach to understanding what people do. I don't think anybody in the social studies should be doing that anymore. But the findings that you develop from your evaluation must be based on evidence to be credible. Your client is going to invest a great deal of time, money, and effort in acting on the results of your evaluation. For him or her to do this, he or she has to believe that the conclusions you've reached from your evaluation are grounded in evidence, that there is an empirical basis for making recommendations and for acting upon them. So to be an evaluator, you have to be a good scientist. There's nothing special about the science that evaluators do. So what you bring with you will be useful. But you have to commit to connecting your work and your conclusions and your recommendations with evidence that you collect as part of an evaluation design. All of this will become clearer to you as you do it in working through your own evaluations. Evaluation is very collaborative. Unlike some academic work where you figure out a problem and then you go research it all by yourself, evaluation is almost always designed and defined in consultation with the people who will use the evaluation and with the people who will be affected by the outcomes of the evaluation. These people are called stakeholders because they have stake in the evaluation. And identifying the right stakeholders and building the evaluation around their needs is an important part of evaluation. Evaluation is multidisciplinary. You will not be going out and doing an evaluation all by yourself, probably not ever. Evaluations require input from many kinds of disciplines. Your contribution as an anthropologist will be integrated and synthesized as part of a research approach that also includes psychologists and statisticians and policy people and scientists, sometimes laboratory scientists. Your evaluation will be built around many, many different approaches to a problem. And hopefully the approach that comes out will be well integrated so that it provides a single body of evidence. I've always found this to be one of the best things about evaluation because you learn a great deal. But it is wise enough to acquire enough of an understanding of things like statistics, public policy, public health. It depends on what kind of evaluation you're going into, but it's good to develop a background understanding of these areas. I've given you an overview of the evaluation process. This is not gospel. It's certainly not the only possible process, but it's a good process, and it's one that works well in evaluations that must be done in the very short time that we have to build an evaluation. So read through that and keep it someplace where you could find it, because sometimes you'll want to go back and reorient yourself to where you are in the process. I also discuss in the text the mutual relationship between evaluation and anthropology. You can read that in the text and in the assigned readings. The important thing to know about this is that the skills that you bring into this course, the understanding, the theoretical background, will be useful to you both in completing this course and in evaluations you do subsequent to this course. Evaluation anthropology combines attributes of both evaluation and anthropology into a consciously integrated approach that hopefully brings brings elements of both of these disciplines together in a useful way. So read those things, and there is a discussion question that asks you to think about the skills and aptitudes and theoretical orientations that you bring into this course and how they can help you as you move through it. You will learn a lot from other people because you probably underestimate your capabilities to do this. So I encourage you to participate in this discussion, not only once, but go back and look at what's accumulating and add some material in subsequent things. Next steps. I hope you've done your introduction on the week 1 discussion. If you haven't done this, please do it as soon as possible. The reason is that this is essential to building teams. Remember, I said it was collaborative. I want you to have the experience of working on teams, but I will not put teams together for you. If you're stuck, if you can't find a team, or if you feel that your team needs more members than you can put together, let me know, and I will intervene if it's absolutely necessary. I want the names of your team are due on September 16th. After that, if you have trouble, I'll try to help out as much as I can. Finally, please participate in the discussion for this week. It's up on Blackboard. And I'll see you next week. Thanks. Have a good week. Bye.